Let's unbox the Funko Pop vinyl figure of Peli Motto with Grogu from the Mandalorian series.
Varykino. If it's Star Wars, we collect it.
Hello there, thanks for visiting Varykino. Now, I love the Funko Pop vinyl range of Star Wars figures, but unfortunately, as much as I wish I could buy all of them the moment they are released, my budget doesn't quite stretch that far, so I do wait for some of the characters to hit the sale or even the clearance tables. Now, I was scoping out the range of Funko that were on sale with a local New Zealand online retailer and spotted a handful of Star Wars characters for just $5. For reference, the usual retail price for a Funko figure in New Zealand is usually $27, so this was a fantastic price reduction. Now, I love Peli Motto. She is such a fun fan favorite character that appeared in both the Mandalorian series and the Book of Boba Fett, but sadly has not been made in many other merch lines like Hasbro's Vintage Collection 3.75-inch and Black Series 6-inch figure lines. Still, fingers crossed, we will see her released sometime this year. She was so fun, so I'm really happy to finally have her in collectible format from Funko. She looks so fun. Can't wait to open her up. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Coming up really soon, of course, I'm going to open this one up, check out all of the details. She looks really cute in there. But first, let's take a quick look at the packaging. The Peli Motto with Grogu figure comes packaged in the iconic single figure box style from the Funko line. Of course, Peli Motto does appear in two Star Wars live action series, The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, but we can see on this box we have that orange-brown accent color used for the Mandalorian series. So this is her appearance from that series. We have the Star Wars logo in black up at the top. We also have black used for the number circle here. The number for this figure is 665, and we have that orange-brown accent color used for the nameplate as well. Peli Motto with Grogu. We have a nice preview there of the figure. We can just see Grogu there with a cute little smile. I do want to take a quick little note. You can see that the Grogu smile, he's got little visible teeth and a little tongue visible there on the print. But if we look up close to the figure in the box, he just has a black paint design for his mouth. He doesn't actually have that full mouth detail as visible on the box. Interesting that there is a difference between the design and the finished figure. Nice visible window here for the figure. We can see, turning around to the side, that it is not a clamshell. It is kind of more of that sort of C shape around, so it's holding it at the top and the bottom, and of course around the back. So you can see the figure quite well through the front because we've only got this one outer plastic layer to view the figure through, so that's quite nice. Now, this window wrapping around to the side, we've got the name here, Peli Motto with Grogu, the number, and a preview of Peli Motto. This time Grogu is a little bit cut off, same as on that top panel there where we just get her face. Moving on to the back, the packaging for the Mandalorian series is quite plain. There is no background imaging. It is just this sort of white to light gray, really simple design here. We've got a preview image of Peli Motto with Grogu, a little bit cut off there to the side, and we have a graphic showing 6 figures from this particular assortment from the Mandalorian series. We have the Mandalorian series logo there as well. You can see some of the other characters, the Mandalorian himself, of course, Paz Vizsla, the Armorer. Really fun assortment of classic characters from that show. Moving on to my favorite side panel on every Funko box, the one where we have the full graphic here of the figure. Of course, we don't have the base included here. We've got the Funko Pop logo here at the top. We've got that orange-brown design running around the edge. We've got the character name and the number on the underside, but a nice clear graphic there. Again, the little Grogu has those teeth and a little tongue visible that's not on the figure, but overall, pretty nice box. The packaging for the Mandalorian series is a little bit plain with just that white background, no sort of colorful graphics in it behind the figure design, but that's okay. The figures are still pretty cool. So let's open this one up. As always, I'm going to open up my box from the underside. Just going to lift that cardboard flap and we're going to pull out the plastic tray. There we go. Taking a quick look at the cardboard insert that was packaged in behind the figure. We have this really fun orange cardboard insert with a bit of a red mythosaur skull symbol in there. That's really fun. Of course, that's a quite iconic symbol used for the Mandalorians. There we go. Okay, so let's get her out of the plastic. This is always the noisy part. Here we go. Okay, so lifting her out, she is cute, and Grogu, of course, being really cute as well. So I could see her pretty well through that front window, but she has a really detailed costume, and of course I can't see the details on the back when she's in her box, so I'm going to have a lot of fun going over her detailed costume. So let's quickly clear away the packaging, and so we can take a closer look at all of these really cute details. I'm so excited to finally have at least one collectible of Peli Motto in my Star Wars collection, because she's so much fun. And of course, while I want figures of just her, I do think it's appropriate and kind of fun that she is holding Grogu because of all of those fun, iconic scenes of them together. She really does love Grogu, so I think it's cute that she is holding him here. Of course, we don't need more Grogu Funko items. There are so many by now, glitter ones, full-scale ones, detail ones, ones that make lights and sounds. But of course, it does work for this scene, and I think it's really cute here. So let's go over the details because there is a lot. I'm going to start off with Peli Motto's head here. So of course, she has a really distinctive hairstyle, and I think Funko's done a pretty good job of translating all of that hair into a design here. There is a lot of sculpting going on here. There are a few patches where it's just kind of peeking out, which is kind of fun as well, kind of giving it that slightly sort of scruffy appearance, and it really does quite add a lot of weight to her head. Her head is kind of quite heavy because of all of this extra sculpting there, which is fun. She's got the iconic Funko black eyes with 3 eyelashes on each one, and she's got a little bit, sort of like a little bit of a crease under her eyes there, because of course she does live on a Tatooine as she's exposed to the harsh Tatooine sun a little bit, so they're kind of giving her a little bit of more of a worn appearance here. I do have to say the paintwork along the hairline is not the tidiest I've seen on Funko figures. You can see that the skin section here is kind of bleeding over onto the hairline because it looks like the head has been sculpted out of the plastic that comprises the hair, and then they have painted the face on over the top, so you can kind of see little sections and along here where it's just bled over onto the sculpted hair in a few places. Not the worst. There is one tiny little scratch here, just kind of into the paint and a little bit down here, but for the price I paid, I'm perfectly fine with that. I've seen some with big flaws on the face, and this is fine. Just that little bit of sort of overspray with the face, but otherwise she looks nice and tidy there. Now she has quite a detailed costume, which unfortunately, because she is holding Grogu, we don't see all of the detail on the front, but we do get a lot of detail from the sides. Of course, she's got all of these little extra greeblies and details down her sleeves. She's got all sorts of tools on her work belt and little sort of hanging bits down here. She's got quilted sections on her outfits as well, a buckle there in the back. So there is a lot of details to both be sculpted and painted. She's got a little pocket here on the back, all of these little straps, domes, little designs on her sleeves, lots of tools. I really like just the complexity of all of the details here, considering that all of this is generally down the back of her, where we're not going to see it when she's on display. I think it's really fun that they've included all of the details. That's something I really appreciate about Funko. They do really pay attention to the backs of their figures, and they paint them well, which is really fun. You can just see the hair hanging lower than the sort of the base of the head up in here as well. So let's take a closer look at Grogu. I really like just the really happy expression here. He just looks so happy to be with Peli, being held by Peli. I think that that's really cute. Reasonably good painting here for the eyes, that tiny little black sort of crescent for the smile. We've got a little bit of a pink hue in the ears, and of course we've got his little jacket. And I like the fact that his feet are sticking out the bottom there. A lot of the figures, and indeed on screen, his feet are kind of completely hidden at the base there. We generally have them tucked away in his little jacket. We've got his little hands. Even the tiny little sort of fingernails on his hands are painted here, and his toenails as well. So a lot of attention to detail for this very tiny Grogu being held by Peli there, which is so fun. And of course, Peli's got lots of details on her pants here, lots of different colors. It's not just sort of orange or all brown, lots of different colors going on here, because I know sometimes it's easier for toy manufacturers, collectible companies, to sort of cast it in a plastic and then just sort of paint on a few different colors over it. But she is made from so many different colors, it's a little hard to tell what is the plastic base and what is painted on. Just as sort of as a guess, I think it's the sort of more orange tone of her flight suit, her jumpsuit that we can see here in the back. I think this is probably the plastic color, and then all of these other details are painted on, which is just a lot there. And of course we can see them going all the way down to the boots there. Now, as best I can tell, it looks like Grogu is sculpted. I think he's connected to one of her arms, but it's really hard to tell because the grip is actually really tight. Her arms look like they are joined at the top, but then looking around closely at Grogu, there is a little gap here. So I think this might actually be 3 sections. Just looking at the way, I thought maybe he was sculpted attached to one arm and then they sort of glue the other one in, but it looks like the arms and Grogu all might be separate components that are all glued together, which is just incredible. That's a lot of little detail parts to put all together. A very big difference compared to those early generation Funkos with the very stylized bodies, those big chunky feet and legs. That's just a lot of detail and everything coming together really nicely. It does look like she's holding him, which is nice. And I don't see any kind of big spills of glue or anything like that. I think it's just because you can just kind of see where those fingers are not fully sort of, you can tell when plastic is fused in the molding process, but this definitely looks like those are 2 pieces. Looks like they've sculpted a little sort of grip into the side of Grogu's jacket there just for those fingers to rest in. Really nice. That's a lot of sculpting work and a lot of construction work, so many painted details to work on. Really nice. So of course she's permanently fixed onto the classic black circular Star Wars base that is used for the Star Wars figures on the Funko line. Not all Funko final figures actually have bases like this. We've got that 3-tier ridge to the edge and a plaque section here at the front with the Star Wars logo in a metallic silver, nice and straight, no big scratches, always nice to see. And we don't have any sort of glue spill onto the base. That always does catch my attention there. We can see the underside with the copyright details there on the underneath there. So she is so fun. Sometimes I kind of wish that Funko did sculpt smiles or mouths on their sort of main characters like this, but I do understand the style. It is what Funko is known for, but somehow they still managed to get the likenesses of the characters quite well executed, even with the lack of a mouth. There's just something about this one that's just so fun, even though she's not sort of smiling or anything like that because we don't have a mouth. I think Grogu's doing the smiling here and it just looks really cute. Just so much detail work, and it's a little bit sad that this one did hit the clearance table because she's such a fun character. But of course I do have to admit that I was fairly certain I would be able to grab this one on sale, but she kind of jumped past a regular sale and went all the way to clearance. So I was just excited to grab her at such a great price and add her to my collection, because as much as I wish I can't afford every Star Wars figure that Funko makes, they do make a lot of them. Still trying to catch up and fill some gaps in my collection, so it's fun when I can grab them on sale. And this is just so cute. Definitely adding more to my Funko collection with these fantastic sales, and she's so cute. Now Hasbro just needs to get a move on and make some Peli Motto action figures as well to really flesh out the scenes that she is in, especially since she goes really well with the Mandalorian's N1 Starfighter. That modified Starfighter exists in both the Hasbro 3.75-inch line and the Funko line, so I think it'd be really fun to put her next to the Funko version of the Mandalorian's N1 Starfighter because she helps build it. So she was so essential for that scene, so I'm really happy to have her in my collection, and she looks great. Just that tiny little overspray with the skin tone, but other than that, she's fantastic. Very well made. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today as I opened up another Star Wars collectible and had a lot of fun at checking out all of the cute details. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are in the galaxy, and let's hang out again very soon for more Star Wars fun. May the Force be with you. If you're a Funko Pop vinyl fan, I've also unboxed the Mandalorian in N1 Starfighter with R5D4. That video is linked here in case you haven't already seen it, as well as a whole Funko unboxing playlist. This is the way.